There's a certain kind of moment you've probably had more times than you can count. You're staring at a neat little summary on a screen of a book, an article, a meeting you just had. It looks polished. It sounds confident. It covers all the key points. And yet, something in you goes, no. Your eyes move over the words, but your body doesn't buy it. You close the tab, reopen the original, and start checking for yourself. Most people around you might call this overthinking. They might say you're making life harder, that you're wasting time double-checking what's already been done for you. Some will joke that you just don't trust technology, that you're stuck in the past, that you're being dramatic. But that's not what's happening here. This isn't stubbornness. It's a pattern. What you're feeling in those moments has a name even if nobody has ever given it to you. It's that quiet internal resistance to AI summaries, even when they're accurate. Not because they're wrong on paper, but because something about them feels thin, or flattened, or emotionally off. You're not just rejecting information, you're noticing what's missing. And there's far more going on here than most people realize. When you read an AI summary, your brain isn't just scanning for facts, it's running a kind of emotional audit. Your nervous system has learned, over years, to pay attention to tone, to context, to tiny human details. It's used to picking up on hesitation in a voice, contradictions in a story, the weight behind a sentence. AI, on the other hand, is built to compress, to smooth out the edges. It takes messy, layered human material and turns it into something concise and confident. From a purely cognitive standpoint, it's efficient, but your brain isn't just cognitive. Research on memory and comprehension shows that we understand things more deeply when we move through them ourselves, when we wrestle with complexity, notice what confuses us, and feel the emotional beats of a story or argument. Your mind links facts to sensations, how tense your shoulders were when you read a certain line, the little jolt of recognition when something finally made sense. An AI summary strips most of that away. So when you skim one, your body doesn't get those familiar cues of, I've really felt this information. It looks complete, but it doesn't land. For many people, that's mildly annoying. For you, it hits a deeper nerve. Because this isn't just about technology. It's about how you've learned to survive in a world where information has consequences. Maybe you grew up in a home where the official story rarely matched what you could feel. On the surface, things were fine. Underneath, there were unspoken tensions, shifting rules, moods you had to predict before they exploded. To stay safe, you learned not to trust the headline version of reality. You read the room instead. Or maybe you were the one who always had to catch what everyone else missed. The detail in the contract, the hidden agenda in the email, the tone in a message that quietly said, this isn't okay. Missing those things had a cost, so your nervous system adapted. It decided, I will not outsource my judgment. I will check for myself. Now, when an AI system gives you a tidy answer, that old survival pattern wakes up, not because you're anti-technology, but because part of you has been trained to believe that compressed information is dangerous. If something really matters, you don't just want to know what was said, you want to feel how it was said and what was at stake. This isn't better or worse than how other people operate. Some minds are perfectly comfortable letting tools summarize, delegating that layer of thinking so they can move faster. Your mind is wired differently. It values trust over speed, depth over efficiency. Neither is morally superior. They're just different strategies for moving through a complicated world. And like any strategy, yours comes with a paradox. The same instinct that protects you from shallow or misleading interpretations can also make life heavier. You catch nuances others miss, but it means you carry more of the cognitive load yourself. You see the gaps in the summary, but you also feel the constant pull to go back to the source to make sure nothing important slipped through the cracks. There's a quiet strength in this. People like you are often the ones who notice when a critical nuance about someone's mental health gets lost in a report, when a legal clause means more than it sounds like, when a story has been oversimplified in a way that erases real human pain. You're the person who senses that accurate enough isn't always enough. And yes, there's a cost. You might feel slower than others. You might feel out of step in a world that keeps telling you, let the AI do it, just trust it, stop overcomplicating everything.
But your reluctance isn't a defect. It's the trace of a long history of having to be precise to feel safe. You are not broken for wanting to see the full picture. You are not behind for needing to feel information in your own nervous system before you can relax into it. The way you move through knowledge, cautiously, attentively, with a kind of emotional honesty, has value, especially now when so much of what we see has been compressed, optimized, and stripped of context. If you recognize yourself in this, it's not a diagnosis, it's a mirror. It means there are likely other places in your life where you quietly refuse to accept the shortcut version of reality, in relationships, in work, in the way you understand yourself. And if this felt like someone finally put words to something you've been doing for years, there's more to uncover about how your mind protects you and how that same sensitivity can become a strength instead of a burden.